This week on the Road Unfiltered Podcast, we have Alexa Campbell, who tours with Carly Pearce and has also directed music videos for Carly and many other artists. Welcome.
Thank you.
Who else have you worked for here in Nashville?
Toured with John Party and done music videos for Gabby Barrett, Bailey Zimmerman, Ann Wilson, and a few others.
Directing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Some of the work that I've seen is incredible.
Thank you.
Seriously, it's awesome. And I had, I have to reference this. I did have Dylan Rucker on the show, and he spoke very highly of you.
Oh, that's sweet.
And Dylan's incredible.
He is.
We actually had a bunch of conversations about, I asked him about what his favorite music video he's ever done, and it was one of the Carly videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did he say?
The one that you guys, I forget the name of it, but it was the one in the water.
Really?
At the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or no, it wasn't?
No, it was the one, it was like...
Oh, that was my favorite video.
Oh, well, thank you.
He didn't give, or what he didn't give, or what he
Oh,
didn't do.
the one with all the candles and everything.
Yeah.
We don't fight anymore.
No?
It might have been.
Oh, my
gosh.
gosh.
He like approached it like a film.
He confused it, but it was...
You know what?
He got it wrong.
It is a great problem to have that you've done many Carly videos that we can't figure out which one it is.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your story. Do you live? Are you from Nashville?
No, I've lived in Nashville for 8 years.
Uh-huh.
I'm originally from a really small town in Illinois.
Uh-huh.
It's called Carmi, Illinois.
Uh-huh.
And I moved here in 2015 to go to school at Belmont, and I studied motion pictures there.
Oh,
so I
nice.
studied filmmaking.
Yeah.
And then after I graduated, I knew I wanted to be a director, but didn't really know how.
Right.
And fell into touring accidentally, but loved it.
Right.
And so yeah, that's what I do now is the tour photography and music video directing, and I do photo shoots in town too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely something that I didn't know it was a job at first, the touring, like the tour photographer and everything. And so I got asked to do it by a friend that I went to school with, who was playing at Lollapalooza, and her name is Josie Dunn, and she's really, really talented artist. But that was my first experience on the road, and I was just thought, well, I'll try it for a weekend, and ended up really loving it. And then after that, I just kept getting asked by other people, and then I'm still doing it. So
It's amazing, though, isn't it? It's fun.
It is so fun.
It's a fun job. I mean, I don't even call it a job.
Yeah.
It's just we're so lucky that we're able to do this for a living and actually like make a living out of it. You know? I find it interesting though. It's like, because other people that we have talked to, or just people that I've talked to in the past, about coming into Nashville and pursuing this, a lot of people don't go to film school and they just kind of dive into it, but you did. And, what was that experience like when you went to Belmont, like work or learning about all that? Like what was the process there? What did they teach you?
I feel like they really focused a lot on storytelling and screenwriting and how to craft a good story. That was probably the main thing that I learned there. And but then as far as actually learning how to direct, I feel like that was more from being in town, and I did a lot of behind the scenes videos for directors and artists, and I feel like that is actually how I learned how to direct more than anything, was just watching other directors and learning, oh, that was really effective the way they said that to the talent, or even just how different directors would lead their sets and hearing what like crew would say about different people, and just kind of helped me realize, okay, this is just learned by watching mainly.
I totally agree, because that's what I did.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Back in the day, the getting into like directing music videos, I was doing behind the scenes stuff on set of music videos. I never went to film school, and I felt like that was almost like my film school, because you get to sit there and shoot behind the scenes of an artist, but I was also acknowledging how a director and a DP communicated and how a DP and a grip and electric team communicated.
Yeah.
And like you see everybody, how this complete chaos of work that's happening, but it all comes together, you know, in the end. And it's like, I feel like when people go on and do behind the scenes on music videos, if they want to be a music video director, I feel like that's such a great way to learn, because you are like in there with it, you know, and you're learning from all the people that have been doing it for a while, or obviously they got hired for the job, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best ways to learn, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It was for me. Do you remember the first behind the scenes video you did?
Oh my gosh. It had to be, yeah, I do actually. It was for Josh Groban, and it was for the music video he did for the Polar Express movie. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That's
it was like
really
20
cool.
years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was the first artist I ever toured with and worked with. But then I got to do a lot of behind the scenes on Faith Hill music videos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, back in the day, like there was that big duet that they did. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill did a duet. I forget the name of the song. But then, like, I was on set for when she did, like, Mississippi Girl and Stealing Kisses, that whole era, that whole
cool.
Faith Hill era. So it was cool because she was working with big time directors, you know, and to see that in action and to see her in action like that was just, you can't buy that education.
The one you did with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, was it I Need You, maybe? Did it have a lot of candles?
No, it was before that one. It was the one where, oh my gosh, I forget oh man. Look up Tim McGraw and Faith Hill music videos, 2005.
I asked because the one they did with the candles was how he did the performance video for Carly.
Yes.
Where I got the idea from, because she sent that
That's
to me
funny,
and was like,
no
I kind of
way.
do something like this.
That's wild.
So,
yeah, it was funny because they shot, I remember they shot that I Need You? Or
I think it's called I Need You.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, that was, that house that they shot that was on McGraw's property.
Oh,
back
cool.
a long time ago when he had a property down in Franklin, but
Like We Never Loved?
that was it. Like We Never Loved at All. Yeah, it was that one. That was really cool. It was Sophie Mueller that directed that, and Sophie like did like a lot of Coldplay videos, and you know, back then she was badass to watch.
Yeah.
And so
That's awesome.
yeah, when you said that you did the first tour, who was it with?
Her name is Josie Dunn.
Gotcha. Was it like a van tour or like
It was a van tour, yeah.
What was that all about? What was that experience like?
It was so fun.
Really?
And we stayed at her house in Chicago. But then like did a couple club shows on the way in the van. But I didn't know, I'd never been on a tour bus before, so I thought that, this is how everybody does it, I guess.
Right.
So I loved it, and I felt like, oh man, I'm really living, like getting my photography career started. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was fun. But yeah, I think after like doing those shows with her, it's such an adrenaline rush, like to go on stage and like, take the photos, and you just want to do more. Yeah,
it's wild being in that environment where, you know, people come in and it's just that energy of just everybody coming in and just being a part of that and actually getting to see it from the stage from that perspective and be able to shoot that perspective. It's really fun, really good. It's addicting.
It is, yeah.
You know. So what was the tour that you did after that?
It was Michael Ray.
Gotcha. So then you went to a bus.
Yes,
probably at that point.
That was my first bus tour.
So okay, so you have to tell me like the bus story, because like everybody, like when they first get on a bus, they're like, oh my God, what do I do? Where do I put my bags? What do I, you know, it's like, what bunk am I going in?
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you're entering and like living in somebody's house, you know, on the road. So tell me about that.
Oh, it's been so long since I've thought about that feeling, but it is so awkward because, especially when they're all, I jumped on in the middle of a tour. So they had already been like, everyone had their bunks already. And but yeah, I remember I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know what to bring. Like, do I bring my own pillow and blankets? But yeah, I just went in, and they were all so nice. And, this is your bunk, and this, I just hung out with them. But yeah, I just kind of jumped in, and yeah, I don't really remember. I think they just made me feel like really welcome. So
that's great. Yeah.
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 But yeah, that is so awkward when you don't know what to expect. But I just remember thinking it was so cool to be sleeping on a bus in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Can you sleep well on a bus?
I feel like I go through phases where I can, and then some where I can't. But
because there's some people that are like, because I sleep better on a bus than I do at home.
Really? You're so used to it.
I know. But then there's like a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I can't even sleep on a bus. They can't even sleep in their bunk.
Yeah.
It's hard for them.
Yeah. I feel like I have trouble sleeping most of the time on the bus. Yeah. But then there'll be some nights where, and maybe it's because I'm so tired, I'll finally sleep. But yeah.
How did you go from Michael Ray to Carly? Or did you go from Michael Ray to Carly?
I did.
Gotcha. So was that the time that Michael Ray and Carly were together?
Well, COVID happened, and so I was kind of shooting for both of them.
Right.
And then, COVID happened, and then she asked me if I wanted to go on her tour. And I think before that, I texted her and said, if you ever need anything, let me know. And and then she said, do you want to go on tour with me this summer? And
amazing.
Never looked back. And
that's right.
she's so nice, and she's given me a lot of opportunities. And I've really had a lot of fun with her and her camp, and they're all really good people.
Yeah, no, Carly's great. I mean, it's funny. I remember when, because I've been in Nashville now since 2007, and I remember when she first came to town, and was pounding the pavement for it, and I remember there was one time I was out on the road with Billy Currington, and Lucy Hale did a show opening for Billy Currington, and Carly was the backup singer in the band, and then she just broke loose after that, and it's just it's awesome to see, so. But how is it touring with her? I mean, because she's doing headlining stuff now and all that. So
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun because she's like a friend. So just having, then I feel like her band and crew, they're all just so nice.
Yeah.
And then her assistant is another one of my close friends. So it's just fun to just hang out with everybody. It doesn't feel like work.
Do you feel like when you're going out on the road with Carly like that, or any artist, do you feel like you have more of an advantage to be more creative with them, or like say, hey, let's go over here, let's go shoot this, maybe take a photo over here or something, instead of just live stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Cause we usually talk like, what are you wanting to post this week, and kind of plan it out like that.
Yeah.
And, and she's really, if I ever have an idea for something, she's usually like, oh, let's do it. Or, if she's got an idea for something, it's fun to collaborate with her. Yeah. So, which I love, like the behind the scenes stuff more than the show sometimes, because that's the stuff that people don't really get to see.
Yeah.
So it's fun to collaborate with her on that. And
it's really cool too, because being a tour photographer and videographer, it's like you have that access. You have the ability to shoot something that nobody gets to see, or they get to see it, but they get to see a different perspective of just her being on stage, or an artist being on stage, because it's like you could have 10 photographers in the crowd shooting for newspapers and media and all that stuff, but your footage and your photos are completely unique and different than what regular people would just come out and shoot. So I mean, that's what I think is cool about the tour, photo and videographers. It's like you could really get some unique stuff and moments that are, really hard to see, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Is it like that for you and Carrie?
Yeah. It's, obviously, the Carrie tour and working with Carrie, it's, you know, the production is massive. There's just so much going on. There's so much planning. There's so much rehearsal. So many there's weeks of rehearsals and production rehearsals to put the show together.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are moments that, you know, you get behind the scenes that are just cool, you know? And I don't know. I mean, there's really no words to describe it in a way, you know? You've now been with Carly for what, 4 years?
Yes.
Because were you doing now when the whole COVID thing happened? Is that when you started kind of doing stuff with Carly, or?
Yes. And I was doing more behind the scenes videos during COVID too.
Yeah.
So that's, when did I start working with her? I think it was 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was funny, because when Dylan Rucker and I had the conversation, it was, you know, we were talking about how like a lot of the videographers and photographers out on the road became directors during COVID, because it was the trust, and it was like, okay, obviously you got to stand, and we're limiting the crew and all this stuff. And it's like everybody kind of became like, we almost had to take on almost like a different role, because we were the only kind of thing that like was the connection between the artist and the fans.
Yes.
You know, during that time, because we couldn't go out on the road. They couldn't do appearances. They couldn't do anything. So we were kind of like that thing. So Dylan and I were talking about just like how, you know, a lot of people became kind of like the director. It's like, okay, well, we've got the videographer. Let's go ahead and do a music video.
Yeah.
You know, but it's great with you, because you studied to be into like film and stuff like that. So what an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, to jump into that. I mean, how did you feel doing your first music video?
It was fun. Yeah. It was like, that was, because that's what I wanted to do for so long. And Carly was someone that I don't think she even knew I wrote a treatment for her song, but you know, I'd been with her through, like, I was in the studio when she recorded the song, and when she decided to send it to radio, and you're just with them through the whole process of it all. And so you're hearing it so much, and you just think of all these ideas for it. And so I just wrote a treatment for it and showed it to her. And she was so kind and said, I want you to do it, to direct it. And it was just a cool opportunity, because I really didn't have any kind of credibility to do something like that yet. Like no previous experience, or
but we all didn't at a point.
That's
you know?
true.
Yeah.
And so it just takes that one person to just give you
a
chance.
shot. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. And it was one of those things where I was like, I really don't think I'm probably the best director or the best one for the job, but I know that I care about this the most, and I will work harder than anyone to make it happen for you. And
that's what it takes, though.
Yeah.
It's the passion. You have to have the passion behind it.
Yeah.
You know, and the drive, and you want to do it.
Yes.
You know, that's what will make you successful.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you say that with the whole, like, the song thing, how you were there and you saw it get recorded, and you kind of like were, through that whole process.
Yeah.
I was the same way with the Chris Young Mitchell Tenpenny at the end of a bar.
Oh, cool.
You know, I was at Chris's house doing liners with him, video liners, because we all do the video liners, because we're content people with him.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not a fan, but
yeah, me too. Comes with it all, I guess.
Exactly. But it was funny because he played me the song, like, I guess they had like a rough version that they had written. I'm like, dude, that song is amazing. I'm like, I really love that. I'm like, if you ever put that out, or if it ever is on an album, or if it ever becomes a single, I want to do that video so bad. And so I was able to do it, wrote a treatment, and we got it, and we did it.
Was that your first video that you directed?
No.
Okay.
No, but I think that was like my third video with Chris.
Yeah.
But it was the one that we shot on Broadway, and it was like 20,000 people on Broadway, right after 4th of July, or the day after 4th of July. So, but And Daniel Vorlay, he always says that's one of his favorite shots on a video. So I'll have to question him on that when he's on the podcast.
Yeah, you should. He's so nice. Yeah.
I know. But let's go back to the music video thing, because obviously you did one with her, the first one. And which one was that again?
It was called Never Wanted to Be That Girl.
Gotcha. Oh, was that the one with Ashley McBride?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you like jumped in with like two amazing artists.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I don't know why they let me do it. I'm really glad they did.
Because then you got nominated.
Yeah, and I don't know how that happened either. Right? Yes.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah, it did ACM, CMT, and CMA.
What a feeling.
It was really cool, which I know so much of that has to do with the artist and the success of their song, but it was just like, whoa, I was not expecting this. So.
Right. That is awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Think about that, though. You came out of the gate doing your first video as a director, and it gets nominated all across the board.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Can't believe it. Thank you. Thank you.
So then what was the next one you did with her?
The next one with Carly, it was What He Didn't Do.
And that's the one at the water.
That's the water one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which Dylan has shot all of these.
Yeah, Dylan's amazing.
He is. He's such a nice guy.
He is
very talented.
It was funny hearing his story about coming to town and all that. But he's so crazy talented and so detailed and he's just scientific with all his lighting and just how I love DPs that take the time. But then sometimes we don't have a lot of time. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, come on, let's go. But yeah, Dylan's awesome.
Yeah.
Dylan's awesome. So, and then what was the next one after that?
After What He Didn't Do?
Yeah.
It was We Don't Fight Anymore.
And that's the new one.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
That's so great. 3 Carly videos.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
That's cool. That's really cool. Any cool road stories
Ooh.
that you have, like... Because I think everybody's got some kind of fun. Dylan was telling them, and we had other people telling them. But anything cool, like from the road that you remember, like when you went into a venue or something went wrong or something, like
I don't know. I need to think.
What's like one of the coolest tour memories that you've had?
Ooh, I think anything that just is kind of random. I really like that. You're like, well, this is. How did we all get here? Like, I think of, we had a day off one time in, I don't know if it was South Carolina or North Carolina, what that just says with touring. You don't really know where you are half the time.
Exactly.
But we were at this house, and I don't know the people. I don't know why we were there. A friend of someone in the bands, but we all went on a boat, and there was this bridge, and we all decided to jump off the bridge. And just stuff like that that is so random. Yeah. Or I remember one time we were in Spokane, Washington, and the bus broke down, and it was a day off too, and the bus was broke down, but we all just had a big dance party, and it's like it was just so fun. Yeah. And just memories like that. Yeah. Or like I remember Carly opened up for Blake on the on his tour last year, and they had like the end of tour party, and they had karaoke, and Gwen Stefani was there, and she just sang "Holla Back Girl" in front of everybody, and stuff like that. Like moments like that were just like, I don't know how I got here with my camera.
I say the same thing all the time. There's moments where I'm just like, what is life right now? You know, it's like, why am I here? What is happening?
Yes.
You know? It's wild. It's wild, Tell me a little bit about like when you are on the road. I mean, obviously you've traveled with Carly a lot. Mm-hmm. I know everybody's kind of got like a little bit of a workflow, and a lot of this, that we're talking about now, it's just like, I want to inspire, people that are doing this and kind of like guide them in a direction to where it's kind of the right way to do it, you know, because, there's first and foremost, obviously, being out on tour is fun, but you're there to do a job too.
Right.
So give me kind of like, show days happen, and then like, what do you do with editing photos and all that stuff after a show? Like, what's your process?
Well, as soon as the show ends, I start editing unless there's something going on where the artist needs photos for whatever's happening.
Right.
But I feel like I'm curious if it's the same for you, but it's so urgent that they need everything. And so, I'll just try to edit everything, and I'll do a Dropbox folder immediately I'll try to do selects of, like if it's for Carly, for example, I'll just go through and I'll pick which ones I think she'll like.
Right.
Because if she wants to post on Instagram like right after the show, and then I'll just send her like what my selects are, and then from there she'll choose, a couple or have me re-edit some.
Right.
And then I always like to do photos for the band and everything too. So I'll just try to get everything done that night.
Yeah.
And
do you use Lightroom?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, it's the best. I love it.
I do too.
Yeah, it's easy, and it's like you could catalog everything too.
Right.
And just like really organize everything.
Yes.
Because I think organization is key when it comes to what we do.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's like you really have to like keep it all together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm curious what you do.
It's pretty much the same. I mean, being out with Carrie, I'll come in, and after a show, she would usually finish like around 10:30, and then I would get all my stuff packed up really quick, and as I'm packing up, I'm pretty much dumping photos over onto a hard drive, and then usually we leave pretty quick, so I'll go on the bus, and then I'll start editing on the bus, and it usually takes me about 2 hours ish.
Yeah.
So like around like 1:30, I'm like turning in photos, I'm just Dropboxing them out, but then we'll do like recap videos, but we'll do it in a sense of like 3 or 4 shows, not just like the one show that night. Cause there are some videographers out there that like have to cut like the show that night.
Yes.
And then they're up until 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning editing. And we don't do that.
Oh, that's good. I love your recap videos and your photos too, but
Thank you.
I watch them sometimes for inspiration.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
But I mean, and I use Lightroom and tons of hard drives because I overshoot.
Yes.
What's like an average of what you shoot per night photo wise?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I would know the number, but I'm an overshooter too. Because I would always rather have too much than not enough.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how do you go about like shooting the show? Because it's obviously the same show every night if it's a tour. How do you make them all look different?
I mean, luckily with Carrie, the production is so big, and the stage on that tour was like halfway out into the arena. And I feel like we only did 43 shows on that tour. So it wasn't like it wasn't like a big like 80 show tour or 120 dates or anything like that. But so I'll, it's funny because kind of like what I'll do during the day is when we get into an arena, I'll get a cup of coffee and I'll go walk the arena because I want to find all the pathways that I could get to certain areas. And then I'll kind of remember what I did the night before to kind of avoid doing the exact same thing. So then it kind of sets up a pattern to where I'm like, okay, that night I did this, got to do something different this night. The next night I'm going to do something different again, and then again and again. So I try to like really like do something a little bit different. But then there's times where, some artists will request certain things, certain shots, that they may want to use for some sort of media or something or outlet or something. But I try to switch up lenses a lot, just to like try to get a different look, because obviously lenses are very important, that. And, they create different looks, different flares, different this. And, it's tough because like when I shoot in Vegas, the Vegas show is a theater. So it's like, it's literally like a flat, it's not like a flat look, but it's just one thing, there's nothing coming out, or she doesn't come out or anything like that. So those are challenging because I got to like really rethink stuff because you only have so much areas to like work in, you know, so that one's a little bit harder, but I try to make it different as much as I can.
Yeah.
And it's all about, you know, it's like, okay, well, let's shoot that same song, but with a 70 to 200, because last night I did it with a 24 to 70, you know, whatever, you know. So I try to like change it up as much as I can. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you just, you know, you can't.
Yeah. But you kind of get in the flow of what you know looks good.
And then also shooting video too. So it's like, you know, switching, because I use a Canon R5. So it's like flipping from photo to video and then video to photo and just flipping back and forth, because it's like, okay, cool, you got 3.5 minutes for this song. Let's pick off like a bunch of photos and then shoot the back end of the song for video, you know, so you have kind of both, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Do you go on the stage a lot?
On the Denim and Rhinestone tour, I did here and there, but it was very delicate because there's a lot of pyro and a lot of things that would happen during the show. Yeah. Like sparks would come down, fire would shoot and stuff like that. So you had to be really conscious about that. And, you know, it's just, sometimes I would, just to get some like when we were at Madison Square Garden, I wanted to get a really cool fisheye. Yeah. Because have you been to Madison Square Garden?
No, it's a goal though.
My gosh.
That's amazing. You've done that.
The ceiling and stuff like that, it's just so unique, you know, and it's like you want to get that kind of shot, you know. Right. But during the Vegas show, I don't go on stage because there's too much movement of props and stuff like that. So I totally avoid that completely. Yeah. But then like with Megan, I'll go out and shoot, you know, stuff off the stage too. You know, so, or on the stage, back behind her. Right. You know, because she's growing now too, you know, and becoming. And it's like, it's cool to see that crowd and have her kind of match in with that crowd. So you kind of see like she's drawing in all these people, you know. Yeah. So those are always fun shots. Do you get up on the stage too?
Only, I try not to, but if it's like a moment in the show where I know this is going to be a good shot, I'm just going to risk it and run on the stage real quick. Then I will, but I try not to.
Do you get nervous?
I get worried about like interfering with the show. Yeah. And I don't want to mess anything up in that way, but not to be in front of the crowd, just, I don't want to interfere with the show.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's funny because sometimes you see videographers now that are just like running around.
They're a part
with
of the
artist.
show. Yeah.
I know, right? Like Tanner Gallagher. Yeah. It's like Tanner's out there with Hardy just running around with them.
But it looks cool.
It's kind of cool though, you know, just him running around with the camera and following Hardy. You know, but
yes.
But yeah, those definitely are cool, unique shots that, you know, obviously, you know, crowds, you know, they don't get that perspective, but then they get to see it on social media afterwards, and they get to look for themselves too, because there's so many people that are like, oh my God, I see myself in the front row.
Yes. Do you get DMs like that?
Yeah,
I do too.
I know. I'll get DMs of people like reach out and go, can I get a high res version of that photo? Can I buy it from you? And all this. I'm just like,
I'm the one in the corner back there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how do you see yourself? You know?
Yeah, it's sweet.
But yeah, and it's funny because I get I'll get a lot of DMs from like, you know, people that want to do what we do. You know, and they're always asking like, how do I get your job? I want your job, you know, and all that stuff. And I'm sure you probably get the same thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't DM'd you that. How do I get your job?
Well, you got a great artist, and you know, you're doing very well. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
It's awesome. But it's like, you know, I feel like, you know, with this podcast and having somebody like you on it, you know, because you're young in this business, you know, but you've made such a great name for yourself already by
thank you.
By being on the road with her, by doing her music videos. You know, that's huge,
Thank you.
And, you know, I feel like these are the kind of episodes that I want a lot of these like younger people to look at and go, damn, I could do that. You know, it's like, it just takes just a little of that to get in, you know, and you know, because it's like, I very highly, or how do I say it? I very rarely will respond to the DMs because I'm just like either busy or, it just gets lost or I just don't think about it or something. But I feel like this podcast is almost like the answer to all the DMs.
Oh,
you know what I
good.
mean? So it's like it kind of could help people out and like, kind of be able to do what we do.
Yeah.
So you're going on the road this year with her? With McGraw?
I don't know yet.
Really?
Yeah. So we need to talk about that. I'm doing Houston Rodeo with her.
Yeah.
Which
have you done that before?
I have. I did it last year
It's
with
cool.
John.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I loved it. And
It's
the star
wild
stage and how it goes
huge
up.
that place is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
if anybody's never been to the Houston Rodeo, that place, that festival rodeo, not
That
festival,
rodeo.
that festival, that rodeo is massive.
Yes.
Massive. That stadium is huge too.
It is.
Yeah.
So
But do you know Tyler Conrad?
I do, yeah. He's awesome.
Tyler's going to be on this too.
Oh, on this podcast?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because I thought about it. I'm like, wait, Carly is going out with McGraw and Tyler works with McGraw. So you guys would be out there together if you guys did.
I know. I hope I can do some shows. I love
Yeah.
Tyler. He is so nice.
Yeah.
He's one that I like looked up to a lot starting out and like, cause I think he's the same age as me, but he was like a few steps ahead.
Yeah.
So he gave me so much advice and
Yeah.
stuff. So
He's great.
really
I
great.
mean, I've never met him in person, but we've just kind of like messaged each other here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to get him to edit some of my music videos.
Oh yeah.
Because a couple people were telling me, like, oh, you got to get Tyler Conrad to edit. He's such a rad editor, you know?
Yes.
And every time I reach out to him, he's like, man, I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I'm like, yeah, you are. Of course you are. You know, you're working your ass off. So that's good.
Yeah.
Out there with McGraw. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's so
But-
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope I can do some of those shows. I think it'd be fun to hang out
Yeah.
with Tyler and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the McGraw camp is great too.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a fun tour.
Have you worked with them?
I've worked, I mean, I did the Tim McGraw and Faith Hill tour back in 2006.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I was working with Faith back then and Tim was great.
Yeah.
And my dad was in the music business as well. He was a tour manager.
Oh,
and
cool.
he's been in the business since he was like 18 years old.
Wow.
And he was Faith Hill's tour manager.
Is that how you got in with her?
It was a good connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My first job was with Josh Groban, but then it led into like, okay, cool. Well, you did this with Josh and it was cool and it was great. Now here's Faith. Like Faith needs a guy, and this was a long time ago. And then that's how, it led to Keith Urban. I worked with Keith Urban for about 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I toured with him. And then, so it's just, I feel like it's a lot of like who you know too,
Yeah.
It's because you work with one artist and then that artist and maybe they're managed by the same people and then you get that and then it's just like you keep going and it just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
But that's what's so great about Nashville. It's like, I feel like it's such a small little family.
It is.
Once you get in there, it's like, then you start knowing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, maybe one day in a couple of years or whatever, you'll be asked by another artist to go out on the road, that's what's so cool about Nashville,
Yeah. That
Are
is
you-
cool.
Are you a country music fan?
I am, yeah. And so that's what was fun about, I grew up listening to country music and grew up in the country. And so, to like work in it now, like there are some artists I worked with, like, I did a couple shoots with Florida Georgia Line, like small stuff, but it was cool to work with them because I like, loved them when I was in high school. So stuff like that.
Yeah. Was that kind of one of those pinch me moments? You're like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
But I didn't realize it till after, because I think during,
Right.
I think I shot like some BTS stuff for them. It was like really small, but like after I left, I was like, oh, I forgot. I used to like really love to listen to their music, and I just worked with them. So
Right.
moments like that are really fun.
Yeah.
But I love
Yeah.
country music.
It's just real music, the songwriting and the effort and everything that goes into it. You
Yeah.
know? I don't know. There's something about that I really love. And just everybody is just so cool. It's like I said, it's like family. Nashville's like family
It
in
is,
this
yeah.
business,
And I feel like everybody wants to see each other do well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's
Exactly.
really cool about it
And
too.
that's one thing, that's one thing as well. It's like, I feel like, everybody wants to see everybody do well. And I feel like that too in like being a photographer and videographer. It's a very competitive, you know, there's a lot of people that want to do what we do, but I still, you know, what I love about our kind of line of work is that everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you and I could go to a show and shoot a show and they'd be two completely different things because it's just the different eyes that, you know, we have looking at through a lens, you know what I mean? And that's what I love about like photography and videography, directing music videos, everything. It's like, it's perspective.
Yes.
So you've done the 3 Carly music videos. Have you done anything else?
With Carly?
Or just anything else besides Carly music video?
Yeah, I've done 2 videos for Gabby Barrett and video for Bailey Zimmerman, Ann Wilson, Ashley Cook, a few others.
Damn, the resume is getting big. That's
Thank
cool.
you. Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
fun. I just want to do more.
Yeah, and Dylan shot everything with you?
I've worked with Dylan. I worked with Chris Finner on one, and who else have I
Chris
worked
is
with?
great.
Yeah, he's really nice.
Yeah.
I really like him.
Yeah.
I want to do more stuff with him. But yeah, Dylan has pretty much shot almost everything. Dylan's so nice. It's hard not to want to work with Dylan.
Yeah, I know. And he's just so smart too.
Yeah, and
So
you worked
smart.
with him a lot too.
Yeah, we did Steady Heart, Cameron Marlowe. We did, what else did we do? Did an Austin Foreman video. It was kind of a, which one?
The building, Emily Ann Roberts.
Oh, Emily Ann Roberts, the building video we shot at the Ryman. He did I'm Not Pretty with Megan.
I love that video. That is so good.
It's a fun and quirky video. You know, we had fun on that. It was like, I think it was like 9 different looks over like 2 days, 2-day shoot.
Oh, nice.
And Dylan and I had fun on it. And Megan was great because Megan co-directed it with me.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was awesome. And I wanted to co-direct it with her because in like you say, it's like the collaboration with an artist, you know, it's like you and Carly, you know, having maybe like creative talk, you know, about maybe like a vision of a music video. I love doing that for my music videos. I love being able to talk to the artist and be like, what's your vision on it?
Yeah.
You know, because maybe they wrote the song, maybe there's something in their head or their heart that they want to kind of put out there, you know, visually. And, with Megan, you know, I told her, I said, hey, I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I want you to co-direct it with me because I want to hear your thoughts on this because a lot of the stuff that she writes she's a phenomenal songwriter, you know, so we just like went back and forth. She had so many ideas. The record label had so many ideas. And I just compressed it all into like, put it kind of into a story, you know, and we're just like, okay, let's have fun with this one.
Yeah.
It's a fun song. It's quirky. Let's make it colorful, you know, let's just make it a little different, you know, and then obviously I had to bring in Dylan because he just crushed it, you know, but it was fun. It was really cool. She was along for the whole process. She helped with the treatment. She helped with the edit. She was there for color correction.
Wow.
Like she was there every step of the way. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's fun. I like when they, that's awesome that she cared so much about it.
So when you're out on the road,
Okay.
what gear do you have? What are you using?
I use the Sony A7 III and I have 7200. I use all Sony.
Yeah.
And then I shoot prime 50, 35, 14 millimeter. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
keeping it simple.
Yeah.
But you said you shoot Canon.
I do. I've shot Canon since pretty much day one.
Yeah. I thought about switching to that.
Have you?
Because all the photographers I look up to shoot Canon, like John Shearer and you, and I'm like, I don't know.
You got to get yourself an R5.
That's what I want.
I know they're amazing. I have 2 R5s, and then we've got an R5C as well. It's actually that camera right there.
Oh, nice.
Is shooting VR right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. So yeah,
this is a.
I know it's a little cool setup in here.
I love it.
But yeah, I've loved Canon. You know, I don't think I would ever. I tried to switch over to Sony at one point, and I think I got like the A7R2 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I liked it, but I was like, I could not like not use Canon. I don't know, it's something about the color in Canon I really enjoy.
The coloring is better.
Yeah, but
maybe you get sponsored by Canon if you talk about them enough.
That would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
It's so funny because so many people are like, oh, you got to reach out to Canon and get like free stuff, or if they'll lend you some stuff or whatever. I'm like, I'm just not that person to like ask.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never just like been that person, like, you know, try to get something. I'm just like, I'd just rather pay for it. And earn it and pay for it.
Right. Well, know? That's good. That says a lot about your character. So that's good.
But yeah, I use the R5s. I got a ton of lenses that I take out on the road, and one of my favorites. I do have that RF 400 millimeter 2.8.
Oh, cool.
Which is that big lens. What are you laughing at? Yeah. I know that thing's a beast. The thing's like this big. You know?
Wow.
But that's one of my favorite lenses. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's hard to travel with. Yeah, it's not one of those ones that you could just like take to every shoot. It's like I have to put it in a case or a road case or something. So, but yeah, Canon for sure. And then Red as well. You know, I use a lot of Red cameras. I own 4 Red cameras that I've used Red since 2007.
Oh, nice.
I swear by them. A lot of cinematographers, you know, do and don't at the same time. But yeah, we'll shout out to Red. Maybe they'll give me something too.
Yes, Red and Canon sponsor Jeff Johnson and this podcast.
Right, I know. Okay, so this is a question that I'm asking everybody.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Ready.
Okay. You go out on the road for a weekend.
Okay.
You have 1 camera and 1 lens the whole weekend, and that's all you could use. What would it be?
So I would just stick with what I've got. Sony A7 III, and I would probably bring a 35 and just focus on getting the backstage stuff, and then just stay in the pit.
Nice.
And get those shots.
Nice.
And then not have to get up on stage and, you know, get right behind them to get some good shots. But yeah, I would probably do that.
So a 35 prime then? I
think so.
Wow.
Or I would do a 24 to 70. And just kind of like make it where I could do a lot of different stuff. But
yeah. So if it was like, if you had to do video and photo?
I would do a 24 to 70.
Yeah. That's what I say too. I feel like the Canon R5 and the 24 to 70 is probably my choice, just because, or it is my choice because obviously doing video and photo, you know, you just have like a lot of diverse, like you could kind of go, you'd be at a 24, you could do 70 and everything in between, you know, and it's like you kind of covered. But if I was to choose probably a prime lens, it'd probably be 35 or a 50.
Yeah.
You know, but don't we have such fun jobs?
We do.
Isn't it wild?
It is.
I know. Is your inner kid just like super stoked about where you're at?
Yeah.
Is this your dream?
It is. And I love that question because I don't think about that a lot. But yeah, this is what I wanted to do when I was younger. Yeah. Because I used to just love doing stuff like this for fun, photography and videography. And I love doing it with my friends. And I always said, I wish I could just do something creative with my friends, like for a living. Yeah. And so I feel like with touring and music videos, I feel like that's what I'm doing. I get to be creative with my friends for a living. So that's, I really love it.
What's the goal? Like, what do you want to do more music videos? Do you want to get into film at some point?
Yeah, I want to do more music videos. I really want to do commercials, and I really want to do a movie someday.
Nice.
Just for fun.
To direct or write or?
I would want to write and direct.
Nice. Mm-hmm. You could do it.
Thank you.
You could. You know, you've gotten this far.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think if that happens someday, I would love that. But if not, like I love the music videos. And I think working with brands and commercials, I think would be really fun. Yeah. Too.
Are there any like music video directors you look up to at all?
Yeah, Jeff Johnson. Jeez. But I look up to, like in Nashville, I look up to TK McCamey a lot.
Yeah.
And like he was one that when I started figuring out like who was in Nashville, like making music videos, I really looked up to him a lot and kind of tried to follow, like anytime he put out a music video, I'd watch his behind the scenes videos and just really tried to study like how did he get in this business and what is he doing. And Jeff Venable was another one that I looked up to.
Yeah.
That I felt like that like 2016, 2015 kind of era. Yeah, and obviously, I mean, I grew up watching Sean Silva's stuff too, not knowing it was Sean Silva's stuff. Like, but all the Kenny Chesney videos and things like that on CMT that, like, I remember watching those and thinking, this would be so fun to make.
Right.
And then now it, and then right now, there are different directors, commercial directors that I look up to. Like, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but I think his name's Go Iramoto.
Gotcha.
But he does just a lot of like he did the Farmer's Dog commercial for the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
And I just really like his work.
Gotcha.
So that's someone that I'm look up to a lot right now.
Gotcha.
But in Nashville, I would say TK McCamey is probably the one I looked up to the most.
Yeah, he's great.
Still look up to him. Probably.
Super creative. He's great. Yeah,
and such a nice guy.
I've always loved his videos. Yeah, everything that he's done has just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, super creative. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Who did you look up to?
I really do like Sean Silva. You know, he was kind of, when I got into this, he was already doing a lot of stuff with like Kenny Chesney, you know, and I admired his work back then. I was like, man, I want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, because it was cool because I did a Kenny Chesney tour back in 2011, not with Kenny, but with Billy Currington. And Sean was always out on the road because he was always shooting, you know, Kenny.
Yeah.
But he would like shoot like all like concert stuff. And I was like, well, I shoot all concert stuff too, you know? And it's like, seeing like him being able to do music videos and doing the work that he did, you know, was inspiring to me because I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, there's like this road guy, but he's also directing the music videos, you know? And I'm like, I want to do that. That's kind of cool, you know? And, but it was really funny because I had never like, Sean and I kind of had like interaction back then at one point, you know, and it was just kind of like a, hey dude, how you doing? You know, that type of thing. Oh, well, cool. Oh yeah, you're shooting with Billy, you know, and that was that kind of thing. Yeah. And then I saw him he directed a Carrie Underwood video just recently or a couple years ago for Hate My Heart. And he directed it and I was shooting some BTS and photos on the set and it was just like we kind of reconnected there, you know. It was cool and was like, oh, it was just kind of a full circle moment. You
That's
know?
Awesome.
Any advice to like the new people like coming in that want to do this? Like if you had to like kind of just, if somebody asked you, God, how do I get your job? You know, what did you have to do? You know, what kind of advice would you give them?
Man, move to Nashville.
Because you got to be here.
Yeah, I would say so too. You think?
Got to be present.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think if I wasn't here, I would not be doing this. Yeah. But work on your craft and post your work on Instagram, and I think take every opportunity you can, show up for stuff, and like if you want to be a concert photographer, start shooting live music, even if it's like a little free show at wherever in town. Just get started with it, and then you can start marketing yourself as a concert photographer and go from there. Yeah. And the right people will see it and like it and want to work with you. And I think that would be my advice.
Yeah. I think Instagram has like really been a platform for photographers to like really put their work up there. It's almost like a resume.
It is. And I even forget that sometimes now because I don't post a lot of my work. Yeah. Which I should.
You should.
So, but yeah, that really is like that's how I know who you are and any other photographer in town.
Yeah. it's funny because I feel like a lot of people say, oh, Instagram is bad, or, don't be on Instagram a lot, but it's like, I love it because I still get inspired. I get inspired by people. I get inspired by the young people that are doing what we do, and that's a good way to be like, oh God, it's like, oh, I need a second guy for something. Oh, I've been looking at this guy's or girl's work, it's like, come shoot with me.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I think people do have to post their work. It's almost, you got to kind of use it as a tool.
Yeah.
I've gotten so many like messages or DMs being like, hey, we want to use you. We would love to shoot with you. That type of thing. It's like, it's almost like a free tool, to use,
I feel like it's almost more important than a website sometimes.
I think so too. Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Do you have a website?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
But there's times I'm like, oh damn, I got to update that. It's been 6 months, but on Instagram, I'm like, okay, cool. There's another post and another post.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's such a good way to connect with people too, like other photographers. Like
for sure.
So.
I feel like a lot of the relationships that I have with other, photographers and videographers have come from Instagram. You find, and I kind of go back to that Nashville community again, and it's like, it's a good way to connect. It's like I wouldn't have connected with you if it wasn't for Instagram. I wouldn't have connected with Tyler Conrad if it wasn't for Instagram. Or even Tanner. All these people. It's like, it is such a valuable tool. And it was funny that I keep referring back to Dylan's interview, and Dylan was talking about how, he would DM Preston.
Yeah.
And Preston would never answer him. And probably, he was busy, I would imagine. But it's like, but that's the thing. It's like, if you're aggressive about it and you keep hounding it, it'll happen, And another person had said, like, what's the worst they could do? Reply and say no?
Yeah.
At least they replied.
Yes, exactly.
But, it's definitely a great tool for us people, because the artists use it as well. It's their communication to the fans,
right?
After a show and stuff like that. And so,
yeah, that's true.
It's important. But so one last thing before we do leave. My wife, I don't know, her name is Cassie Johnson. And she has her own company. She's an esthetician.
Oh, cool.
And so she wanted to, for the females that are on this, she wanted to give a gift because she's so damn sweet.
Aww.
So you are getting a gift card.
Oh, I'm so excited.
From her. So if you ever want to
Can I open it now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So if you want to go and get a service done, like a facial or anything like that,
Aww. I definitely will be going. I'm so excited. That's so sweet of her.
Yeah. So she wanted to give that to all our female guests that are on, because but she's a badass. She's really good.
Thank you, Cassie Johnson.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. But I just want to say thank you for being on this and just having conversation. It's so great to finally meet you.
Yes, you too.
We need to work together at some point.
I know. I would love that.
Let's like co-direct something.
I'd be so down for that. I've been wanting to get coffee with you anyway and learn from you.
Let's go. Any more questions for me?
What's your advice to the people, or even like me? I feel like I'm still learning.
Keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Because in all honesty, it's like where you're at now, and you've been doing this for 6 or 7 years?
Yes. Maybe not even that long.
You have got a lot under your belt right now.
Oh, thank you.
You definitely have more than I did when I was 7 years in, with the music video stuff. I mean, that's huge.
Oh, thank you.
And especially videos that are getting recognized by the award shows and stuff like that. That's big.
Oh, thank you.
You're on a great path. Trust me. Seriously.
Oh, thank you so much.
Keep doing it. Work your ass off.
Oh, thank you.
Don't ever stop.
Okay.
And have the passion drive you always.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, thank you. I feel so inspired. That's so sweet.
Well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. It was so fun.
Yes.
That's a wrap.